Final warning to Aussies, a matter of sovereign urgency. What you were never told. In 1975, the Australian government signed the Lima Declaration, a non-binding resolution from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, under the direction of UNCTAD. It called on developed nations, including Australia, to scale down manufacturing so that industrial development could be transferred to developing countries. This was promoted as economic justice. In reality, it became a blueprint for the managed decline of Western industry. Australia agreed to reduce its production capacity, while supporting international frameworks that encourage local businesses to outsource, downsize, or close entirely. For nearly 5 decades, this ideology has guided our policies, without a public vote, without a national debate, and without regard for the damage done. Since aligning with the Lima Declaration, Australia has closed major industries across sectors including steel, automotive, defense, textiles, and electronics. Eliminated protective tariffs, leaving our markets exposed to low-cost, low-regulation foreign imports. Outsourced essential production to foreign nations, including China, placing our supply chains at risk. Lost hundreds of thousands of well-paid, skilled manufacturing jobs. Hollowed out entire regions, Newcastle, Port Kembla, once proud industrial hubs. Created dangerous national dependence on external powers for fuel, pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, food processing, and medical equipment. Today we import what we once made, from surgical masks to ammunition. We do not produce enough fuel, medicine, or essential goods to sustain ourselves in a crisis. This is not a flaw in the system. It is the system built on the principles of the Lima Declaration. Australia's sovereignty is on the line. A sovereign nation must be able to feed itself, defend itself, and supply its people. We can no longer do any of these without foreign approval or access to global supply chains. We are vulnerable to disruption, blackmail, inflation, shortages, and geopolitical threats we cannot control. In short, we are not sovereign. If we continue down this path, Australia becomes a dependent client state, economically weak, strategically exposed, and controlled by outside forces. This cannot continue. We must act now to rescind the Lima Declaration, both in principle and in practice, and begin a national recovery. Our urgent national demands: 1. Parliamentary rejection of the Lima Declaration. Parliament must pass a motion stating, Australia formally rejects the principles of the Lima Declaration of 1975 and affirms its right to restore and protect domestic industrial capacity in the interest of national sovereignty and public security. This must be followed by real legislative changes, not empty symbolism. 2. Launch a national industrial recovery plan. We must reinstate protective tariffs for key industries, rebuild capacity in steel, defense, pharmaceuticals, energy, food processing, and transport, mandate local production quotas for infrastructure, defense, and essential services, offer tax incentives and financing for Australian businesses to reshore operations, re-establish vocational training and apprenticeships for skilled trades, withdraw from UNIDO industrial redistribution. Australia must exit UNIDO programs that undermine national production, redirect foreign aid from overseas manufacturing projects to domestic industrial development, publicly declare Australia's shift toward economic nationalism and sovereign independence. First, launch a full national inquiry. We demand a royal commission to investigate the economic, industrial, and national security impacts of deindustrialization, the role of government departments, parties, and external actors in advancing the Lima agenda, the consequences of foreign dependence for critical supply chains and strategic resilience. This is our final warning. If we do not rebuild now, we may never regain control. Every decade under Lima-based policy has left us weaker, more dependent, less secure, less Australian. Globalist ideology has replaced national interest. The very idea that Australia should not make its own goods has been embedded in law, in education, and in politics. Create a national petition to rescind the Lima Declaration. Email your MP and senators. Demand action by Australian-made. Support your own, educate others. Share this message. Join or start local community action groups demanding sovereign industry. Australia must reclaim control. This is not just about jobs. This is about national survival. Rescind the Lima Declaration. Rebuild Australia. If we do not produce, we do not control. If we do not control, we are not free. If we are not free, we are nothing more than a client state. obedient to foreign economies, foreign regimes, and foreign ideologies. We must rescind the Lima Declaration in law, in policy, and in spirit. We must rebuild Australia. We must restore sovereignty. Not tomorrow, not in 10 years. Now.